Two men, one soldier, one schoolboy, one noble, one nobody. Both are black. Who am I talking about? Othello and New Boy. Humankind is complex and has evolved immensely over time. Imagine gaining a friend's trust, only to be deceived, manipulated, or trapped in a possessive relationship. How can you truly understand the impact of traumatic experiences? Narratives that shape our world, our perspective of humanity. Despite a change in context amongst different time periods, core themes and values maintain relevance. Composers highlighting themes of gender inequality purposefully evoke the reader's sympathy, thus promoting women's justice. Narratives portraying human reactions to manipulative behavior encourage more honesty and trust in society. William Shakespeare's Othello was first performed in November 1604, and Tracy Chevalier's short novella New Boy was composed in May 2017, demonstrating renewed themes of manipulation and gender inequality in relationships in a modern context. Therefore, modern responders are positioned to sympathize with hardships faced by characters, hence enlightening humanity. Psychological manipulation. A social influence aiming to change the behavior of others through indirect deceptive tactics. Antagonist soliloquies or inner monologues allow for psychological analysis. Classic texts and their appropriations re-examine how deep-seated racism and jealousy fuels deception, yet the composer encourages responders to value honesty and trust. In Shakespeare's Othello, Iago's soliloquy includes his premeditated actions to trigger Othello's downfall, who
will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are.
The dramatic irony and simile demonstrates that Iago, despite his honest facade, is a manipulator, identifying his enemy's weakness of jealousy, using it to demolish his sanity. Iago's characterization inspires the responder to value honesty, whilst choosing who to trust. In the juxtaposing statement,
Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
The antagonist's deceptive plan is a monstrous birth, meaning manipulation is not an impulse. There may not be a motive. Iago's jealousy related to Othello's nobility, losing the lieutenant position, and pure cruelty due to racial prejudice. Likewise, deep-seated racism is evident in today's society. New Boy reflects this concept in which even young children view colored individuals differently. Iago's modernized younger counterpart Ian has similar motives of jealousy and discrimination. His persona is the shrewdest, the most calculating. The truncations express Ian's manipulative nature in an impactful manner. Despite the passage of time and improved human rights, individuals who seek revenge due to inhumane motives still exist. Ian's inner dialogue was the cliché to keep your friends close and your enemies closer, revealing his true intentions towards Osei and foreshadowing the protagonist's downfall. Through a comparison of original and modern texts, responders form a judgment that manipulators with merciless motives will always exist. The novel's events and characterization have a purpose of improving the morals of dishonest individuals, or advising potential victims of manipulation, thereby uplifting modern society's values. Therefore, analyzing the manipulative minds of Othello and New Boy allows the responder to strengthen their values of honesty and to be selective in whom to trust. Choosing a significant other is another matter requiring contemplation, especially due to the risk of a manipulative significant other making the relationship possessive. Narratives reflect the universal experiences of possession within relationships due to the prevalence of male superiority. A change in context of appropriated narratives depicts how gender inequality, though subdued, still remains. Possessive relationships were widespread in a male-oriented society in the late 16th century. In Othello, Emilia fulminates to Desdemona that men like Iago are
all but stomachs and we all but food. They eat us hungrily, and when they are full they belch us.
The metaphor exemplifies how women were viewed as possessions, their role to fulfill their husband's desires. Emilia was trapped in a controlling relationship, for divorce had a negative social stigma, being against the laws of Catholicism. This portrayal of the extremities of gender inequality and its detrimental impacts aims to improve female self-worth and discourage male superiority in relationships. Moving on to the modern era, a male's possession over females is not as evident yet still exists, as demonstrated in New Boy. Osei and Dee, Ian and Mimi. Surprisingly, possession is evident amongst these 11-year-olds. A simile is used when Mimi approached Ian like an animal that has willingly walked into a trap, and when Ose called Dee a whore, the word cracked across the playground like thunder. He shoved her hard, making an onomatopoeia of the sickening sound of her head cracking against the asphalt. The plethora of figurative language portrays the boys' debasing behavior towards their girlfriends. The representation of young, innocent school kids as egocentric, inconsiderate individuals effectively demonstrates how even after hundreds of years, humankind has not fully encompassed equality. The responder is purposefully placed to understand possessiveness still exists in a contemporary society, thereby encouraging support for gender equality. Therefore, the theme of possession in relationships in Othello and its appropriated narrative New Boy reinvigorates the concept of justice and gender equality, promoting these values in today's society. Conclusively, classic and contemporary narratives are fundamental to transform our understanding of universal experiences of manipulation and possessive relationships. To communicate to responders a crucial awareness of gender equality, honesty, and trust amongst humankind. Othello and New Boy's antagonists showcase how across centuries there are always inhumane individuals whose manipulative acts trigger the destruction of one's sanity. Othello highlights how the Elizabethan era had prevalence of male supremacy over their wives, while New Boy demonstrated a modernized version of this through younger characters. What are intrinsically linked concepts explored in Othello and New Boy? A quote by Shakespeare himself: "Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none."